Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we recently made a video on our yoga experience and how we went from being office bodies to yoga teachers. And what we thought we'd do is make a video on our top 5 tips on how to begin a yoga practice.
Tip number 1 is to actually attend a yoga class. Now this probably sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people have the intention to start a yoga practice, but they never actually turn up to a class. So we'd recommend that you take yourself along to a beginner's class, just to experience yoga, see what it's about, get the feel for it, and then you can decide whether this is a practice for you or not. Now, we definitely recommend starting at a beginner level. A lot of people will turn up to a class and not check the details and find that it's way too advanced for them. So you want to begin at the beginner's level.
And we're definitely all for watching yoga tutorials online and yoga DVDs, definitely. But when you're starting out, it's really handy to go to a yoga class in person and just feel the energy of the class. You can also be guided face to face by the teacher, adjustments can be made. So definitely recommend going to a class in person.
And you also have to be realistic when you turn up to your first yoga class. It's going to hurt. Most likely you're going to be very tense, very tight in certain places in the body, usually the hamstrings, the lower back, the hips perhaps. So be realistic. Don't think that you're going to be able to do everything that other people are doing around you or what your instructor, your teacher is doing. You just have to be realistic with how you're feeling, and that like any other physical practice, it's going to take work and time and commitment for your practice to develop. So be patient, be realistic, and get to a yoga class.
Tip number 2 is to try different styles and different teachers. So you might go to your first class and you might not just click with the teacher, or you might not like that particular style. So definitely we recommend trying a variety of teachers in a variety of different styles. Some of the styles that are quite popular include Ashtanga, Vinyasa, Hatha, Bikram. We don't recommend Bikram yoga. The reason we don't is because the room is artificially heated and it's too stressful on the organs of the body. If you want to work up a practice, just do a more vigorous practice in normal room temperature. There's no need to apply artificial heat. And plus, who wants to smell everybody's body odor and, farts, let's face it, it's just...
No, it's very unnatural. And
it's an unhygienic environment as well, with wet carpet sometimes.
Definitely.
And everyone perspiring profusely.
No, yuck. It's also very accident prone, injury prone, because when you're practicing in such an artificially heated environment, of course you're more stretchy, you're more bending, you're able to push the body beyond what you would normally and naturally do.
But as a beginner, if you don't have the technique yet,
accidents
you're leaving yourself
happen.
prone to injury.
And the other thing is, in terms of the environment, we just find it so irresponsible that in a time of global warming, and when we need to be really thinking about how we're using resources, that we would go and use external heat to heat up a yoga room, when all you need to do is just practice a more vigorous style of yoga to create that heat and generate that kind of sweat. So definitely don't be put off by the style or the teacher. You have to go to a few classes to just find that perfect fit, that connection. You might really love the style but not connect with the teacher, or vice versa. So don't give up, just keep trying, keep looking, and you will find the right style and teacher for you. Tip number 3 is to learn to breathe. Let's do it. The most natural thing in the world, and yet, let's face it, most of us hold our breath throughout the day, or we're breathing in the chest in the fight or flight mode as we're stressed, as we're driving to work, as we're dealing with things throughout our everyday lives. When do we stop to exhale? When do we stop to remember what it is to really breathe deeply? So what we like to teach in yoga is abdominal breathing. This is the rest and digest mode. Chest breathing, fight or flight mode. So let's do this together. Take your hand, pop it on your belly. As you inhale through your nose, I want you to send your breath into your belly. Feel the belly expand. It rises out, it's pushing your hand away. As you exhale, the belly comes back in towards the spine. So you're breathing into the belly comes out. And as you exhale, the belly comes back in towards the spine. So we want to focus on sending the breath down to the body, and that relaxes people.
And why is it important to learn how to breathe? Because when we hold our breath, the body tenses up, and and that's when we risk injury. So it's very important to breathe whenever you're moving in yoga. And our breath is actually the bridge between our bodies and our minds. It's also a barometer for how we're feeling. So being able to control the breath after first becoming aware of our breathing is very important when beginning a yoga practice. Tip number 4 is to buy a proper yoga mat. So like anything, generally speaking, you get what you pay for. And we have bought cheaper mats in the past and they tend to wear out quickly. They're also generally not environmentally friendly when they're cheaper. And
they're super slippery.
You
want something with a bit of grip.
Yeah, because particularly if you're someone like me who tends to perspire from the hands and the feet quite a bit when they practice, you definitely want something with a bit of grip. These ones here, Jade Yoga, we researched extensively when we were choosing these mats. They're environmentally friendly, they've got a lot of grip, and you also want to think about how thick or thin you want the mat to be. So in our case, we tend to travel a lot with yoga, so we like a nice thin one because then it's lightweight to travel with. But if you're at home and you want something more comfortable, you might want something a bit thicker. And it's going to be a bit heavier, but that's not such an issue because you're either at home or just going to your local yoga studio.
So you can definitely try out your mat in the store. If you're going to a proper yoga supplier store, usually they'll have a few mats out that you can sample, just do a couple of poses so you can feel how grippy it is and what it feels like under your body. Now the reason it's important to get a mat is because although most yoga studios will have mats that students can use, can borrow, they can be a little bit icky sometimes. Let's face it, most people sweat quite a bit in yoga. We've seen students sweat, not just on their mat, but it kind of spills out all around them and we're like, oh, that's super gross. Doesn't matter how much you wipe down your mat with lavender or tea tree or whatever, that's gross, I don't want to be on it. So it's just a lot more hygienic and more comfortable for you to have your own mat, and that's your sweat, that's your smell, that's your everything. The other thing is, you know, everything's energy, and energy kind of sticks to things. So the person that's used the mat before you may have been in a really bad mood and just been heavy and negative, and that can kind of just sit in the mat. So then you come along and you might just not feel right. So you really want to have your own mat and just build that connection. That's your space and you can take it wherever you go, and I don't know, it just becomes yours. Tip number 5 is to start your own personal practice. So once you've gone to a few classes, you've picked up enough poses that you feel comfortable with, you feel safe with, you've got your yoga mat, then it's time to start practicing on your own at home. Try and close your eyes as much as possible. Try and just use your practice as a way of softening down at the end of a day or energizing yourself at the beginning of the day, feeling grounded, feeling more peaceful and relaxed. This is your time to start to put together all the poses that you enjoy and be creative with it. Have some fun. It doesn't have to be perfect at all.
No.
Just play with it and start to enjoy your yoga.
There are many benefits to establishing a self-practice, including having self-discipline. So getting up at a certain hour of the morning and going to your mat, or perhaps of an evening, it just creates a routine, and of course the body loves routine. And also, self-practice is going to help you practice the basics so that when you go to a class, you're going to be able to advance to perhaps a more intermediate level much quicker than if you just attend the 2 classes a week without doing any self-practice. Practice makes the master. So that's our top 5 tips on how to start a yoga practice. We're keen to hear from you guys. Comment down below, what tips do you have to share with beginners to yoga? Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
And keep your yoga practice up. Bye for now.
See you guys.